What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis, and here we have Daniel Coppedge. Uh, just set a nice PR of, I believe it was 55 or 56 meters as a freshman, so that's pretty dope. Um, this is his first technical analysis I've done for him. Excited to help him out. If you are interested in any online coaching services of your own, head on over to my website, www.gripandrip.co, and sign up. All right, let's get to work. Stoked to help you guys out. All right, your next PR is waiting. So let's take a look at this video. Daniel said he's focused on relaxing the arms and letting the ball do its thing. And I think, looking at this video, it's doing a pretty good job of that. It looks like the hands are a little bit forced in the entry, but like patience is pretty good. Arms are pretty relaxed in the turns. Good tension, good direction. But yeah, just some tweaks that I would make in the start. So I'm guessing, just based on where you're located and the way that your technique looks right now, it looks like there's some influence from the good old Super Thrower Track Club up in Oregon. And yeah, with that, I don't quite understand. I haven't talked with anybody who actually works up there, works with them, with the Skipper family. But it's interesting because I feel like the entry, I see a few people who work with them kind of have the same looking entry where it looks like the hands are kind of turned kind of clockwise to the left, or sorry, to the right, camera view left. And they it looks like the hands are kind of like pushed across, and then from there, I'm not really sure. Just looks a little funky to me personally. Obviously they have success with everything that they do, so I respect them. But yeah, this is just going to be my take on your technique, of course. And with that, you only get to see the entry. You don't get to see the winds, unfortunately. But in the entry, you can see I like the right elbow down. You're reaching the hands out away from the body really nicely. But it does look like you kind of force the hands down and across a little bit, like just kind of like I would imagine is kind of 45 after zero. It looks like you're really just kind of forcing the hands down and across. And I think that just looks a little unnatural to me. It looks a little bit, well, as I said, forced, instead of just kind of letting the ball take its natural path. And you're kind of pushing the hands rather than throwing with the body, perhaps. Additionally, like I said, this kind of like where you see the left hand is on top, the right hand is underneath. I think you can see the left side, left shoulder is going to be kind of pulled upwards or tightened upwards. And you can see the left shoulder is up, right shoulder is down. Hips, relatively connected. There's a little bit of shift back, but that's okay because you're patient. Left side's pretty stable. Like you're really turning down into that left knee and like working this right knee down as well and turning with it. But it's just the position and the angle of the hands and the upper body just kind of always looks weird to me with, like I said, the hands being kind of forced down and across diagonally. So what I might suggest, and this is in my opinion, is to turn it the other way, to turn the hands to the left counterclockwise, kind of get the right hand on top instead of the left hand on top. I like the left hand on top up until about here, but then after that I think it might be good to kind of spiral or rotate the hands to the left, around the left, to keep the right side on top, because as you can see here, as you go into single support, the left side is up, the right side is down, and then with that there's not much tension or connection, in my opinion. And yeah, this left side up can cause problems for some people. You do a pretty good job of being patient, and it doesn't affect you too much, it looks like, throughout the throw in full speed. But I think there could just be more. You'd be able to feel the right side working a little bit better. You'd be able to feel a little bit more stability if you had this kind of right side on top. But yeah, on this first catch, like I said, you can see the left shoulder's a little bit up. Feet are very tight. Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not one to coach the feet being tight. I think your feet land where they're going to land. If they're too wide, yes, that's a problem. But I think also focusing on your feet being this tight kind of takes away from the whole throw, where it's all about what the hammer's doing. You don't have to have tight feet to throw far. shoulder width about is cool, but not a huge thing you need to focus on. But either way, yeah, you can see. So like this is a very funky position in my opinion. You see the hammer's ahead of the hips is ahead of the body, but your head is turned ahead, and your legs are kind of turned back to zero. It's just a very interesting sort of thing where it's like the hammer's ahead of you, but it's not in a connected sort of way. So you catch, and I think what you need to do is get your left shoulder down on the catch here, work your hips into it a little bit more. Feel this right leg kind of stabilizing the left side. Get this left shoulder down. Like I said, if spiraling the hands to the left a little bit would help. But also you got to control the head. You can see that head turn to the left, kind of peak and spot to the sector. I'd like to see rather your eyes more in the direction of the ball. That way you can really kind of feel the connection. But hey, everybody has a different style. It is what it is. But this position is just kind of weird. That being said, your knees are turning together. Left knee doesn't really straighten out too much. This looks okay. You're getting pulled around the left a little bit. You can see where the hips shift. They're back over your right side at the end of double support, but then they shift back over to the left side in the next catch. And I think this is inefficiency. So hips working up, and then as you can see, they shift back over to this left side. And then you can also see your hips break and your chest comes down a little bit. So if you look at your posture here, good posture. Then if we look at your posture on the next catch, especially you can see in this movement right here, hips come back, chest comes down a little bit as your hands are dropping, or the whole body's kind of dropping as the ball is dropping. And so that's going to be kind of tough to maintain connection and tension with that. So you're kind of working up when the ball is going up and working down when the ball is going down when it needs to be kind of the opposite. And that's, like I said, is kind of a result of how you enter the ball and what the left side is doing. And like I said, the left side being on top and the right side being underneath. So, but yeah, same sort of thing here on the catch. Hips back a little bit, chest down a little bit, left shoulder's up. You're getting good pendulum right here. So you can see this. This is really nice. Left heel comes down and you're hitting the pendulum backwards. So this is kind of more of the connection that I'm looking for. You can see shoulders, hips, everything is kind of square to the ball. Head is still peaking. Not a huge deal. Your knees are very tight. Left leg straightens out a little bit more here. And you can see this left side kind of pulling across more now because that left shoulder is up, right side is down. And you're going to see same thing. Hips are probably going to shift back over here. Your hips kind of drop down away from the hammer, which is never really a good thing. Like I said, breaking connection, breaking tension. Chest comes down a little bit. Ball's up now. You're catching in the direction of the sector. But this doesn't look like a very connection position in my mind. Hips could be more underneath you. Chest could be up a little bit more, torso kind of more upright. And then you catch, and as you work through, you see that left side is still up. More square with the ball here again. Left side turning, peaking. You can see yourself pulling across with this left side, trying to keep tension since the ball kind of did get ahead of you a little bit too much earlier on. So the system is kind of set where this left side is just going to continue to pull. But now you can see your hips start to get up into it. Right hip gets up into it, kind of getting back away from the ball now. Same sort of thing though. You can see your hands coming up above the head. Very dramatic there. This is usually not the best position. Where when the ball gets above you, when the hands get above the head, introduces a lot of problems into the throw, catch, and same sort of thing. Your hips are shifting down and back away from the ball. Chest is kind of a little bit forwards. You catch, but then you do a good job of getting the hips up into the throw and settling back into it and getting good direction on it. So I feel like I've been a little bit critical of your throw. But that being said, like you're still doing something right for sure. You're hitting that pendulum occasionally. I should say you're hitting that pendulum pretty well, especially in 2, 3, and 4. But it just looks like there's other parts of the throw where you're kind of missing connection and like you're doing a good job of compensating for it by hitting that pendulum in that direction. Or maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about, and this is how the throw is supposed to be. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But based on the information I have right now, if your hips are a little bit more forwards into the ball, your left shoulder is down, your right side was more on top, controlled that head a little bit more. I think you can also see your path through the circle is kind of down this right sector line versus like down the middle. and like I said, you have the tendency to rise up as the ball rises and drop as the ball drops. So um, there's a lot of potential in this throw for sure. I think that's maybe why I'm being a little bit tougher on you, because this is 56 meters, and I could see 60 meters in the throw right now, and 60 meters as a freshman would be really dope. And you definitely have a lot of potential for the future. It looks like you have decent height and strength, long arms, good hips, good direction. You got a decent feel for the hammer, so the potential is definitely there. So sorry if I was a little critical of your technique. I just think there's potential for sure. So yeah, Daniel. But in terms of what you're working on, letting the ball work itself and relaxing the arms, it's close. Like I said, there's just some changes you can make that I think the whole throw would get more efficient and more effective, and you'd optimize some things. I think things would get easier for you, because I don't know what your consistency is like. But yeah, got some things to figure out, but I think you're going to do it for sure. For sure. Like I said, definitely got some potential. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. If anybody else out there would like a technical analysis or any other online coaching, go to www.gripandrip.co. Sign up now. All right. That is all. Thank you for watching. Sean Don, signing off.